Hello students, welcome back to your science class. Today we will study our chapter number 9 of class 6. The chapter number 9 name is Living Organisms, Characteristics and Habitats. So basically in this chapter we will study about the characteristics of living things. What are the characteristics? All living things are made up of cells. Structural organization is found in living things. Living things move. Living things need food. Living things respire. Living things excrete. Living things grow. Living things have a definite lifespan. Living things reproduce. And lastly, living things respond to stimuli. So, in this chapter, we will study the characteristics and habitats. When we look around, we find a variety of things like human beings, trees, cars, stones, birds, insects, clothes, paper and pencils. Human beings, trees, birds and insects are living things. So, these were the examples of living things like trees, birds, insects and human beings. So, in this chapter, we will study characteristics of living things. All living things are made up of cells, means the fundamental unit of life for living things is cell. A building is made up of bricks, so a brick is the unit of construction. Similarly, all living things are made up of tiny cells. Cell is the structural and functional unit of all living things. So, the highlighted point is cell is the structural and functional unit of all living things. Some plants and animals consist of a single cell. They are called as unicellular organisms. So, unicellular organisms are those which are made up of a single cell. Example, amoeba, paramecium, bacteria. On the other hand, the cells which are made up of millions of cells are known as multicellular organisms. Most of the plants and animals we see around us are made up of millions of cells. They are called multicellular organisms like animals, some organisms, plants. Next we have structural organization is found in living things. The cells in multicellular organisms are organized into specialized groups that perform specific functions. A group of similar cells that perform a particular function is called a tissue. Different groups of tissues all together perform a function. A group of tissues that work together to perform a particular function in the body is called an organ. So, cells togetherly form tissues and from tissues organs is formed. A group of organs that perform a particular function in coordination with each other is called an organ system. So, the structural organization in human beings is cells togetherly form tissues and tissues lead to the formation of organs, and by organs, organ system is composed. Organs like mouth, stomach, esophagus, liver and intestine together form an organ system called the digestive system. Next characteristic we have living things move. All living things show movement. Animals move from one place to another in search of food and shelter and also to escape from their enemies. This movement is called locomotion. Animals like lions, giraffe, zebra and dog move with the help of their legs. Animals like birds, flies and mosquito have wings to fly. Fishes swim with the help of their fins. Plants are fixed to the ground. They do not move from one place to another. Plants can also move their certain body parts like leaves. So, in this characteristic we studied that all living things move. Next characteristic we have is living things need food. Can we live without food? No, we cannot. Means For our survival, we need to have food. We need energy to do various activities like running, reading, and writing. We get this energy from the food we eat. We also need food for growth and repair processes. All green plants prepare their own food by taking in carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll by the process of photosynthesis. They are called autotrophs. Means autotrophs are those which prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. All animals get their food from plants and other animals. They are called heterotrophs. Means heterotrophs are those which depend on plants and other animals. Animals like cows, deer, rabbit, these all are heterotrophs. Our next characteristic is living things respire. So, first of all, I will ask, what is breathing? Breathing, the process of inhaling and exhaling air, is called breathing. All living things inhale, take in oxygen rich air and exhale carbon dioxide rich air. Animals like tigers, cats and dogs along with human beings breathe through lungs. Means for breathing the organ is known as lungs. Insects like cockroaches, flies, mosquito and grasshoppers breathe through air holes. These are known as spiracles present on the surface of their bodies. Fishes breathe through gills. Means in fishes, in spite of having lungs, gills are present. They absorb dissolved oxygen from water. Plants breathe through tiny pores present on the lower surface of their leaves called stomata. Means stomata is present in plants to transport the oxygen and CO2 through it. Aquatic plants take in dissolved oxygen from water. All living organisms respire to get energy. So, respiration is the process of breakdown of food in the body of an organism with the help of oxygen to release carbon dioxide. So, in this reaction, we can see in the process of respiration, food plus oxygen changes into carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Next characteristic is living things excrete. We know that all living things take food. A part of food we eat is utilized for energy. Means what is the process of excretion? The process of removal of waste materials of an organism from its body is called excretion. Plants release carbon dioxide during respiration by tiny pores called stomata. I have already told you stomata is basically for the transport of gases like CO2 and oxygen. Plants also prepare some other pass some other waste products. Next we have these products are either stored in different manners like leaves, bark and fruits, or are removed through various secretions like gums and resins. Next characteristic we have is living things grow. In figure 9.7 you can clearly see the growth in human beings from a baby to an adult. All living things grow on their own. Growth is actually an increase in size of the body. A tiny seed grows into a young plant and after some time it grows into a big plant or tree. Plants grow throughout their life. Means the growth continues till the lifespan. A small puppy grows into a dog. A chick comes out of an egg and grows into a hen. Animals grow up to a certain age only. They stop growing after they have attained a certain size and shape. Now, our next characteristic is 8 point. Living things have a definite lifespan. All organisms are born, grow into adults, produce offsprings, get old and finally die. So, all organisms follow a definite pattern of birth, growth, reproduction, aging and death. So, what is lifespan? The lifespan is the time period for which an organism remains alive is called its lifespan. All living things have a definite lifespan. Lifespan is different for different organisms. In table number 9.1, we can clearly see that bacteria, mayfly, housefly, rice plant, rat and squirrel, they all organisms have their different lifespans. Our next characteristic is living things reproduce. All living things give birth to young ones of their own kind. That is, all living things reproduce. Animals like cows and cat give birth to young ones. Cows reproduce by giving birth to calves, whereas cats give birth to kittens. Human beings reproduce by giving birth to babies. Some baby animals like birds, frogs, snakes and mosquitoes hatch from egg. Plants usually reproduce through their seeds or other parts of the plant like stem and leaves. And our last characteristic of living things is living things respond to stimuli. What happens when anyone pricks your hand with a small pin? You will feel pain now and you move your hand quickly. Here, pricking with the pin is the stimulus and the quick withdrawal of your hand is the response. There is secretion of saliva in our mouth when we think about our favorite food. Both animals and plants respond to stimuli. When we touch the leaves of Mimosa pudica plant, it quickly folds its leaf. Here, touching is the stimulus and folding of leaf is the response. So, the leaves which have folded is the response and touching is the stimulus. A bird flies away when you go near. Wild animals and cockroaches run away when bright light is flashed towards them. So, stimulus is any change in the surroundings of an organism to which it responds. All living things respond to stimuli like temperature, touch, light, sound and smell by moving towards or away from it. So, in today's video, we studied about the different characteristics of living things. Okay, thank you. Bye.